Hello and welcome to Visiting Dugout, a Fans First Sports Network production. I am Crystal O'Keefe. Today I have, you might know them as Cube, you might know them as Berlin, but either way, they are on the show to discuss the Marlins. So, hello, please feel free
Mariners.
to introduce yourself.
Mariners.
Oh, Mariners.
I don't know anything about the Marlins.
That's the worst part when I was doing these notes.
Yeah.
I still wrote down Marlins because the White Sox just played them. And it's like, oh, it's just, an M and there's an A and an R, It's just...
Yeah, I had to go and change it all in my notes because I'm like, I'm going to type the wrong thing.
I wrote Mariners on the episode, so that's what counts the most. Anyway, please feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Cube, or Berlin Kofoed, which is my actual name. I'm mostly just around on Twitter and Blue Sky. Not so much anymore because they're annoying to be on, but I am the minor league correspondent game wrap-up writer for Circling Seattle Sports. I work part-time with the Aqua Sox as an usher, and I just really like watching them and like seeing what the Mariners have coming up.
Yeah, you are fully engrossed in baseball.
Oh yeah, I went in hard one day.
No, I love it. That's how I live my life. So, what is new with the Mariners?
Well, we're somehow still doing really good despite everyone getting injured. We've had our strikeout rate is really low. We're walking better. We're seeing pitches better. We didn't even have a busy offseason, so it's not like we brought up a bunch of people. It's just they seem more cohesive, and it's been really fun to watch.
Speaking of that offseason, how would you kind of rate what the Mariners did? Like, did they do enough to kind of appease they needed, or not at all?
To appease most of the fans, no, they didn't do anything. We brought in we signed Rowdy Tellez and Donovan Solano were our big grabs, and that's about it. None of our pitching changed, which better or worse. Last year we had a great starting rotation. That was kind of what made us lights out, except we couldn't hit. So we could strike you out, but that's all we could do. I'm very invested, like I said, in the minor league team. So I know who's coming and what we have. So it was frustrating to see all of these free agents that we could have grabbed and we could have had a chance with just not get signed to us. And I'm not talking Juan Soto. No one can afford Juan Soto. But Pete Alonso, we probably could have gotten, and we need a first baseman. And we got Rowdy and Donnie. And for better or worse, they're back and forth. Well, Rowdy's back and forth. Donnie hasn't lived up to his nickname of Donnie Barrels in the slightest. So I am rooting for our minor league boys. I wish we had that veteran in the clubhouse like we did, because we had Justin Turner for the later half of last year, and he was great. We had Carlos Santana a couple of years ago, another veteran that was fun to have in the clubhouse. So our veterans are like JP Crawford, who's been around for a handful of years, but he's a veteran, but isn't like that kind of like, oh, he's been around in the system forever. He's done this and that. It's like he's been around since like 2018, something like that for us. And it's like, take it or leave it. A lot of fans were mad about it, but we've started off well, so I'm not mad.
Well, that's good. Yeah. And I love Rowdy. I do.
Oh, I do. I love him.
You kind of have to. He's just such a fun character. But you mentioned Pete Alonso and how that would have been a nice grab. And as someone who is also my National League team is the Mets.
Oh, I love the Mets. So I'm like, I'm happy he stayed.
Yeah.
But I love him so much and would have loved him here. Yeah, I see your Mrs. Met.
Well, I have Pete right here. I love Mrs. Met.
It's hard to tell. Mr. Met. All my bobbleheads are like out of shot up here on my shelves.
But you can't really compare Rowdy and Pete because Pete is just known to be wonderful, and he's kind of had a resurgence this year.
Is Pete right or left-handed?
He is, gosh, now I have to use my brain again.
I always have to think. I can never remember because I know Rowdy is left.
Then Pete should be right.
Yeah, so that's what we need is a right-handed, because whenever a lefty comes up, we put in Donovan Solano, who hasn't hit the ball to save his life, really. Like, the most he's gotten on base a couple of times, but the most he's done is he's like moved a runner forward in like a sack situation. And it's like, that's fine, but I think he's still batting below 100. Rowdy might have retouched 200 because he got a home run yesterday. But I know he was like one.
He's almost at 200.
Okay, awesome. So maybe today. I know we're facing off against, like, pitcher-wise, because I haven't looked. Who are we facing? Is it Nick Pivetta? Nick Pivetta. Mm-hmm. So, right-handed pitcher. So he'll probably start off because they don't start Donovan unless we have a lefty. That's like, we need a right-handed first baseman. It would just really help balance us out, and we need to stop getting injured.
Well, yeah, that's an every team issue. From what I've been finding out this season. So, despite all the injuries, the Mariners are still playing fairly well. So, how do you feel heading into this season? Because you're not necessarily in the easiest division.
No. We're also not in an easy place to hit because of marine layer pressure. So we're not in a home run friendly park in the slightest. I'm a genuinely optimistic person when it comes to baseball because I always just want to do good, and I want my boys to do good. But we had George Kirby shut down partway through spring training for shoulder inflammation. So that was one hit that sucked. We had Troy Taylor shut down because of a lat injury, I think his was. And he was nails for us in 2024 for potential closer, but we tended to use him in like a 7th, 8th inning to keep things going. And then we have Matt Brash, who was out all last season recovering from Tommy John. And he wasn't supposed to be back. He came back a little bit ago, but he was out for the beginning of the season. So it was just like, we are losing our pitchers left and right. But I really hope like our batters can get it together. And they did. So I was happy to know that. But again, we're a team known for our pitching, and we weren't. They were falling like flies.
Yeah.
And now we've lost more.
Trying to remember who the pitcher was. So I made the trip to Seattle last season. I finally got to see that ballpark, and it was a fun game. I love that park, by the way. It was awesome.
God, that whole series with the White Sox was so wild last year.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even at that White Sox series. So the whole point of the trip was actually to get to Oakland.
Okay.
And lucky. So we did the Coliseum, and then we went to Oracle Park. But I have a friend that's in Seattle, and I said, hey, I want to do a bunch of Twin Peaks things, but also I want to see a baseball game. So if you could just hang out with us for a little bit.
That's fair.
Great. And it was you can't really see him again because my head's in the way, but it was the Cal Funko Pop.
Oh, yeah.
So I got that treasure.
I have him somewhere, but I don't think he's not on this shelf. I have Funkos and everything scattered throughout my house.
That's fair. I try to sort of minimize it to my office, or else it would kind of take over, and not everyone in my house has the same weird taste as I do, mixing like horror and baseball. So
it's just me and my other baseball obsessed friend and her husband. So
there you go. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this series and talk about some pitching matchups potentially.
Cool.
And welcome back. So we do not have probable pitchers for either teams listed. That's okay. The only one I think you guys might for sure see is Davis Martin, because I'm so bad about just keeping track of who's pitching when.
Oh,
But
same.
what can you tell me about what to expect from the Mariners pitching wise for these series?
Well, here's the thing. So George Kirby is possibly coming back soon, but probably won't make it back until our next series. I think he just had what should have been his final rehab start with our AAA team. Logan Gilbert is out because he had forearm tightness. He should be back in soon. I don't think they have a return date, but everything's going well for him. Bryce Miller just got shut down because he was having elbow tightness. He's fine. He's supposed to return when he's released from the IL, but that's like the 27th, I believe. So that's 3 of our rotation that are gone. So I was going through day by day to try and figure out what our rotation looked like. And I have no idea because it's all going to be absolutely, they're going to throw our pitchers in a box and draw names.
Mm-hmm.
You guys will probably face not Logan, obviously, Luis Castillo.
Okay.
And I love him dearly. He's been a bit rough to get out of the gate this year, which sucks to see. But he also is usually kind of a slow start, strong build through the season kind of pitcher. And then other than that, you're probably going to face a couple of our minor league guys that have been brought up and have been pitching with us. I was talking with some friends, and we're thinking it might be Logan Evans, who just pitched 6 shutout yesterday against the Padres. I kept thinking of every other baseball team known to man to fill that in. And then maybe Jonathan Diaz / a bullpen day, because it's just absolutely wild. But our bullpen has gotten, I feel like they finally have gotten their footing, and we have a good rotation of who's coming in and who's important where, because Dan Wilson, our manager, has been really weird about when to play certain pitchers, but the last few games have been a lot better, and I don't know, I feel like we're finally getting that footing that we really need, because Lord, do we need it? Because it's been frustrating. So we still have Andres Munoz as our closer, who is still at a 0 ERA somehow. I'm scared every time he goes out because I don't want him to ruin it now. Yeah, I mean, we got good pitching still. It's just our starters that's been the roughest for us, which is weird.
So, kind of going into that then, and it sounds like maybe you're a little worried about your starting pitching, but
we keep breaking them.
Yeah, and I understand that as someone who watched 6 different pitchers fall to Tommy John surgery during spring training this year, I get that. But, and actually I'm gonna switch up these questions. Is that kind of your primary fear heading into this series, or is there something else that maybe the Mariners could do that you're like, oh crap, please no?
It's just kind of not knowing who's gonna be starting and what Dan's plan is, because we keep injuring people, so we haven't been able to get a footing for a series for longer than like a couple series in a row, where it's like, oh well, this guy's hurt, well now this guy's hurt, and we'll just swap these bullpen guys around and pull these guys up from Tacoma. We have a guy from Tacoma that who doesn't have options because he's 36 or 37. Casey Lawrence, who I love. He's a fun pitcher. We have brought him up and DFA'd him, I think, 4 times now this year, and then re-signed him and put him back with Tacoma. He was with the Blue Jays for a hot second. Then they DFA'd him and we picked him back up. And I'm just like, oh, my poor old man, Casey Lawrence. Like, I just want him to have a good baseball year. I don't know how many he has left in him. So it's just been frustrating because our bats are mostly where they need to be. Our defense is really where it needs to be. They've been like really solid, even though we keep losing outfielders too. Everyone is getting injured in this team. But the pitching, yeah, is where I'm most anxious about every single time, just because it's been not consistent.
That story always reminds me of that meme where they're like 35, I'm in the best shape of my life or whatever. And then it's like 35, he's the oldest baseball player to ever step foot on the mound.
Me and my friend make that joke when our the Seahawks coach was signed, because he was signed at like 35, and they're like, look at this, the youngest man ever. And we're like, he's our age. And then you get like one man who's like 33 in base. One Justin Turner got signed, who's 40 now. They're like, man, it's a wonder he hasn't broken everything when he slid into plate. And he's just like, I'm fine. Like, I'm not ancient. It's like it's lovely to see me at 37 being like, I'm either the youngest and most spry person ever, or I'm in the grave.
Yeah. And I laughed when the White Sox picked Will Venable as their new coach, because we really did go from like the Tony La Russa, who was 1 foot in the grave, to we'll pretend that Pedro doesn't exist, to this 42-year-old man who is like competent and staying awake in the dugout, which is probably the most important role as a manager, is to just simply stay awake during games.
That feels important. Yeah, we went from Scott Surveys, who's good, solid, like seemed like a good guy, was a fun guy, but we were having a rough season, so we decided to go with nostalgia and picked up one of the guys from the Miracle Mariners of '95 and got Dan Wilson, which I personally love. I'm a huge fan of the mid '90s Mariners when we actually made it to the playoffs for the first time. Go team.
I remember those days. Those were good. 90s baseball. I'm always nostalgic for 90s baseball.
95, 96. But then we kind of fell asleep. And then we really fell asleep.
Yeah, you've been asleep for a little bit.
We made the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, well, that's fair. So back into the series, who do you think on this team might be the biggest threat for the White Sox to face?
Definitely for hitting, I'm going to go Jorge Polanco. He's been hitting like crazy. I think, and I had his stats up and then I pulled away from them. He is hitting 324 right now. His OPS is 121. He's hitting home runs. He's getting the ball. He's been just like jokingly called Jorge Bonds. And it's been like he gets pinch hit and does what a DH should do, which is hit the ball. And then also Cal Raleigh, because he's hitting home runs left and right, and quite literally. Yeah. And it's just been a lot of fun to watch him. I think he's at 14 now, as of yesterday. Man, so he's hoping he can overtake Aaron Judge and leave him in the dust, because Aaron Judge I don't want him up there.
I am all for anyone surpassing Aaron Judge in anything, but that's just the Yankees hater in me. I don't even hate Aaron Judge. I just hate the Yankees so much.
Yeah.
That I'm like for it.
We just got destroyed by them other than one game. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm sick of them. Sick of the Yankees. Don't like them. Someone just hit a home run in their game earlier, and it's like, yeah, because their park's tiny.
I was not impressed with their park.
I'll go eventually, but it's not high on my list. Like, I'd rather go to like a Mets game first.
Citi Field is a lot of fun. As someone who's been there a few times now, highly recommend that.
I want to go, but I'm scared of going to see a Phillies game because fans of Phillies are so rabid. But I'm like, I want to go, but I'm scared of them, which I feel like is fair.
That's fair.
I will say for defense, Ben Williamson is my star player. He's third base. He just debuted this year, but he has been on fire out there, making just the weirdest plays and outs. Like he's been great. I love Ben. I was rooting for him when he was in our high A Everett a couple of years ago.
So with that, what are the keys for the Mariners to take this from the White Sox? Because I don't know if you know this, the White Sox are kind of bad. But every once in a while, they have like this kind of wild hair up their asses where they do something. So, what can the Mariners do to prevent that from happening?
Listen, I'll say you guys were worse last year.
Oh, yeah.
And we almost dropped every single game to them.
Mm-hmm.
We are somehow really bad against also bad teams. And I don't understand. I don't know if they just decide that they can take it easy and it comes back to bite them or what. But if they can stop getting hurt and just have 3 games where they're the team that they've been recently, I really think that they could have a solid showing one way or the other and just not turn into a grand slam walk-off in the 11th or whatever it was last year that kept happening at home. Where I'm like, these games shouldn't have lasted like this. The White Sox haven't won that many games. But mostly stay healthy. Stop with the injuries. Stop with the forearm tightness. JP was out for a couple of, I think he was out for a game and then we had an off day. So he was able to take that as his extra off day. But Polanco has had like an oblique thing and he's not been hitting from one side of the plate much. And I can't remember because my brain can't remember where he normally hits now. Because he's a switch hitter, but everyone's had some injury. Luke Raley's still out. Victor Robles is out forever. God, just everyone keeps getting hurt. And it would be really nice. Ryan Bliss had surgery. He's out probably for the season. So if they can stop getting hurt for 1 minute, I think we will have a good season. And we'll be able to take at least this series.
You're not going to have a minors team pretty soon if everyone is getting hurt at the
We have had 4 debuts this year.
Wow.
And I think we've used like 47 players or something like that. Or something crazy. I might be a bit hyperbolizing that one, but still, yeah, we've had 4 debuts, which is wild.
Well, I mean, good. I mean, I love a good call up. Like, I get emotional watching call up videos because I form these weird alliances with people as is. This takes me very, very far back, but I was watching Andrew McCutchen in the minor leagues. That's when my weird stan culture obsession with Andrew McCutchen began. And so as he's like moved through Major League Baseball, I go to watch him play at least once a year. I have traveled to so many ballparks for that man. Like, I have the wildest attachment to him, but I will get these attachments to these, young guys in the minors and just like, I love you so much. And then they get called up and I'm just like, if I could cry right now, like physically cry, I would be doing this because I love it.
That was, so me and my best friend, we both work Aqua Sox. That was when Troy Taylor debuted last year because we actually got to be there because a lot of the debuts they've had this year haven't been at home. Mm-hmm. Or have been games I've been working or something, so I haven't been able to go. So when Troy debuted, me and Megan were there, my best friend, and we were just like, oh my God, we watched him in Everett like 2 years ago, and now he's here. Like, this is insane. It's like every time I see him pitch, I want him to do great. He's had a bit of a rough bounce back from his injury, but it's just like, no, he'll be fine. He's great. He's a solid pitcher. He just needs to get out of his head.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. He's fine.
And it takes so much adjustment anyway.
Oh, yeah. So. And he's young. He's like 23 or 24, so.
Oh, yeah, just a baby.
So teams made babies.
I know. No, I die a little inside when I see, they pop up information about the player on the screen. It's like born in 2002, and I'm like, ew.
That's how I feel at Aqua Sox games because it's high A and we have a bunch of 19-year-olds on the team. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, you were born in 2004?
I could be your mother.
No, you definitely didn't. You weren't born around the time I graduated. That's not right.
The White Sox, they have a player, Brooks Baldwin, right now, who looks 15.
Like a child.
And my son turns 15 this summer. And they look almost identical to the point where it's kind of like creepy. So when I watch him, out there on the field, I'm just like, ew, I could be your mom. Like technically I couldn't because he's a little bit older, so it would have been like a teen pregnancy kind of situation. But I'm like, I could be this man's mom, this young boy.
I was going to ask if you had developed a connection to him of like, oh, be careful out there, honey, to Brooks, and be like, oh, don't get hurt.
I do kind of love him for that because I'm just like, oh, it's kind of just like how we're at the Little League Diamond again.
Oh, my son did so good. I'm so proud of him.
Good job on that single. I'm going to take you out for ice cream.
I'm going to get you Dippin' Dots.
That's just how I feel. Yeah, no, that's how I feel about all of the minor league players, though, to be fair.
Oh, God, same.
My children.
They're all babies, and I love them. Our for the Aqua Sox, the bullpen pitchers play Family Feud when they don't have to be warming up and getting ready together, and it's so adorable to watch them. Like they line up on either side and they sit and just like that's their family. It's so cute. I love them.
Oh, they're precious little babies. So moving away from our teams and little babies in the minors, how are you feeling just about this new season overall? Like, this is kind of where I like to ask for the hot takes or warm takes or whatever, just however you're feeling about baseball this season.
Cameron, calm down. I'm tired of the Dodgers. I'm tired of the Yankees. I wish the Rockies could come to life. I love the Rockies dearly, but 7-1 games so far is rough. What are they, 7-37? I think I saw.
Yeah, I think so now.
Which is disgusting.
Yep.
I don't know if I have any like hot takes or anything that are different from the usual. Just like I'm sick of hearing about Aaron Judge. I'm not even sick of hearing about Shohei Ohtani. I will be once he's pitching again, I think. But
that's where I'm at too. I love Shohei. I do. I think he is great for baseball, but he doesn't need to be mentioned on every broadcast, especially when the Dodgers aren't even on the
playoffs last year when it was like four base plates until Shohei's around. It's like some of us want to see the other players on the team too.
There are other players. Like, save that energy. I hate Freddie Freeman, but I was like, save that energy for Freddie Freeman. Like,
I like Freddie Freeman, but I was happy that the Dodgers won last year. One, because it's the Yankees, and two, because his son got sick, and I was like, his kid deserves this kind of like celebration after he was so sick and everything. So I'm like, yeah, I'm happy because his kid got to celebrate this.
That was a sweet moment.
So I'm like, this works for me. But I'm like looking at teams to see like, do I have any opinions? Like, nah.
Do you think the Rockies will beat the 121 record loss that the White Sox got last season?
I feel like they're trying to speed run it, that's for sure. Like, I feel like the White Sox put up a bit more of a fight early on. And I remember after our series last year, I forget like what happened. I think it might have been the walk-off from Cal against the White Sox, that someone was sharing the White Sox like their television broadcast guys, where one of them was just like crawling into the room and it was just like, how else can we lose a game? We were winning. What do you mean? I'm going to sit on a cactus now. And I'm like, oh, I feel bad for these guys.
Yeah. As someone who covers that team at such, like, to the extent that I do, my regular recap coverage day fell on game 120, like the 121st loss.
Oh, no.
And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to break loose. This is going to be the meanest, snarkiest.
They pop on your just like whole bottle of whiskey. You're like, I'm going.
Like, this is going to be so mean because I have had to watch. I mean, and I typically watch just about every game unless I like really can't. I'm still going to watch it because it's like Stockholm syndrome at this point.
Yeah.
And so I had that game and I was so mean, but it made me kind of rediscover my love for creative writing because you're like, how can you still write a recap that somebody's going to read and express just how bad this team is without just like swearing the whole time.
I know that feeling.
Like how can you do this? So I did have to like really tap into all of the creative writing courses I took over the years, and I'm just like, I've got to still like produce quality work. It's going up on a site that people are reading. I can't just be like, this team is bad. Did I hit 150 words yet?
Me writing recaps, because I do the whole minor league chunk at once, so it's just like they lost 5 of the 6 games, and I'm like, how do I just nicely say, like, oh, I don't know what happened, what do you want me to say? Like, they forgot how to hit a baseball.
This team
So I'm
is
just
kind
like,
of doo-doo.
so I'm just like, oh, they really tried here, there, and I'm like, Al, I'm trying, I'm doing what I like. They didn't hit the baseball for 4 games straight. Like, I don't know what you want from me. I'm sorry, Charles. I tried.
Oh, I know. I get it. I don't do the minor league coverage. I don't think I have the strength to do that. We have a lot of good writers who do all of our minor league coverage. I don't envy them because it's bad enough at the professional level.
God, it's crazy writing for Tacoma Rainiers, the AAA, because I'm just like, they're having a hard time because we keep taking their players away. So they also can't have a steady rotation because their pitchers keep changing. So it's like, oh, the 2 teams to fear out of like Seattle or like out of the Mariners system are these 2. And I'm like, well, no, we keep taking the pitchers away from Tacoma. They're having a hard time.
Yeah.
And my team that I work for, they need pitchers, but everyone's not ready to move up yet. So we're like stuck in this weird in between where it's like, well, we have a lot of relief pitchers who are becoming starters for like 4 innings.
Do you have any of the like weird kind of independent fringe teams? Like we have the Chicago Dogs. They're completely independent, and I'm like, we could start pulling from them if we need to.
Oh, we don't have anyone that we can pull from. We have like just random like college league teams. Like we have the C-Dub Fish Sticks, which play somewhere south of Seattle. I've been to one game, and it's like a weird place to find. They play at a college, but it's like that's pretty much all we have is like weird college league teams or like summer league.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have a couple of guys who used to play for the Savannah Bananas, so that's always fun.
Yeah, seriously, you could
miss them. Wish they were on our team.
Oh, yeah.
They're all in our minor league system, but Cade Marlowe, who's out for the season, used to play for the Savannah Bananas, like right before they got into the really over-the-top, like, TikTok dancing, but still after them having, like, the kilt game and stuff. So he was right in the heart of it, having some fun.
Yeah, my, like, kind of claim to fame thing I like to brag about is that I had been paying attention to the Bananas before the TikTok fame. And, like, I can go back. I have one of my best friends, her daughter's name is Savannah, and we call her Savannah Banana. And she is, I think she's going into 3rd grade now. And when she was like 3 or 4, I bought her a Savannah Banana shirt. And again, this was like before people were like just going insane and they were just constantly selling out their games. So I like to claim that, but then like I don't win the lottery to win tickets. And I was like, I'm one of your oldest fans.
I'm on the lottery to try and win tickets too. Also, I think I misspoke. Cade is not out for this season, but he's very much question mark when he'll be back.
That's fair.
We had a handful of guys that were marked out for this season, and I'm like, no, I don't think it was him. I think he was just 60-day question mark.
Yeah. I did have a nice sort of, I was this close to the Bananas though, because they were here, and that friend with Savannah, the daughter, her family somewhere along, they did win tickets and they had them, and she was like, I have these 3 extra if you want to come. So I was like,
absolutely.
Yeah, of course. The kids and I will come, and this will be amazing. And then 2 days before I broke my knee.
Oh no.
And I was on crutches. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
There was no way I was going to that game. So I was like, well,
too quick of a turnaround.
Sent my cousin with my kids, and it was like, have fun. I don't hate my life at all right now.
Yeah, I haven't been able to win the lottery for it either. I'm in for Seattle, and I think my best friend's in for Coors Field. So we'll see. I have no hopes, but
fingers crossed for you.
I watched their draft day every year, and I get so excited, and I'm just like, let's see which one I can not go to this year.
Yeah, they sell more games out than the White Sox do, so it'd be nice to go to a sellout game at one point. Well, that is what I have for you. It looks like you might have a cat causing destruction in the background too now.
You weren't looking when she tried to jump up into the curtain and just fell.
All I heard was something and then the curtain moving. So
yeah, she tried to jump up there and then just slid out and ran away. I was like, perfect. All right, bye.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking about the Mariners, not the Marlins. Please just remind people where they can find you again.
Yeah, it can be found on X, Twitter, whatever it is, or Blue Sky, pretty much anywhere as Cube is Horse. And then if you go over to circlingseattlesports.com and go into any of the minor league teams, those are all me.
We'll be sure to link it so people can find you. Thank you again so much. Obviously, best of luck in this series.
Yeah, you too.
Who knows how it'll go?
If anything, we always have the Mets.
Oh, exactly. We always have the Mets. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Right. Well, good chatting. I'll see you later.
See you later.